Patriots Pregame Show is the world's largest virtual tailgate, featuring fans of the 6-time Super Bowl champion New England Patriots.
Fires down the middle for Bourne, reaches up, extends, down to the end zone, between two defenders, touchdown, Patriots!
Hardy, Mike Dussault, Paul Perillo, and Tamara Brown are here to do the grilling as your hosts. This week, the Patriots close out their regular season on the road against the Buffalo Bills.
James White tucks it under the right arm, cuts it upfield, driving forward, diving to the goal line! A touchdown! And a title for the Patriots!
I can't believe it!
Hardy, Mike Dussault, Paul Perillo, and Tamara Brown are here to get you ready for the game.
It's football time, fellas. Let's get into it.
Now, live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, Patriots Nation, welcome to the Patriots Pregame Show presented by Dunkin.
And here it is, Week 18 in the NFL. Patriots visiting the Buffalo Bills today, a game we weren't sure was going to happen, but, oh, it's happening, sweetheart. It's all happening. It's happening in Buffalo today as we get ready for Patriots-Bills final game of the regular season. This feels like a sneaky must-win for the Patriots. Am I out of line in saying that?
That was the Shaughnessy line from the when Cleveland played the Cubs in the World Series 7th game, and he opened up the press conference by asking Tito, "Is this a must-win?"
I think my favorite line this week, I think from Gerard Mayo, said, "This is a trash bag game."
Yeah, oh yeah,
it's my favorite.
This is a
trash bag game.
Trash bag. I don't know what that means.
If you lose,
you pack everything up in a trash bag. It's the same. It's like the opposite of a T-shirt and hat game.
Oh, okay. It is in golf on Friday. We call that a trunk slammer.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
If you don't make the cut, you take those clubs, slam the trunk for the courtesy car you got, drive that thing back to the airport, and on your way.
Yeah, and the Patriots have been very lucky because they haven't had very many trash bag games, and they have talked about that. They talk about it a lot, like over the years. 2008, they had a chance for one. They haven't really had a lot of games on the last game of the year win and in. 2002 it kind of happened, but they've been very lucky not to have very many games like today.
I mean,
needing
not
help.
to be a jerk. I'm going to be a jerk for a second.
Whenever anyone says no offense, whatever they say is about to be offensive.
Get ready to be offended. No, but any elimination game is a trash bag game. In the postseason, it's a trash bag.
Yeah. Well, that's. But he's talking about they're talking about regular season kind of games. Yeah, obviously you could lose a playoff game and the season's over. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to piggyback on Paul's point. I think 2002 and 2008, they needed help that they didn't get, right? Like those were like games like today where they lost, they didn't get what they needed. I think Brett Favre was involved in both of them too, so thanks for nothing, Brett.
Well, before we get to the keys to the game, let's lay this out quickly. Deuce, I'm sure you have your finger on the pulse of all the scenarioizing taking place here. Obviously, the Patriots win today, and they're into the postseason. We were discussing this earlier in the week about, is there a way they could lose and still make the postseason?
Oh, indeed there is, especially, Jacksonville won last night. That was the first thing they needed to have happen.
You needed Tennessee to lose.
So we'll see. Pittsburgh, they beat Cleveland, and Miami, if they beat the Jets, that those guys would get in over the Patriots. So you need
either
one of
them.
Yeah, you need both the Dolphins and the Steelers to lose today.
What time are their games today?
At the same exact time. So it'll all be coming to a head at once.
Wow.
I know.
It's exciting. Get ready.
Do you think they would have made the times for these games so that people would watch at 1, 4, and 7 or whatever it is?
No, that's not. No, they want them at the same time for the most part because they don't want other teams tanking and becoming less competitive if they don't need to win.
Right. If the Patriots were to play at 1, then the other games don't matter.
Right. Now they
want to avoid that.
Yeah, you can't. Obviously, there are times when it's going to happen, and there are going to be scenarios where it can't be avoided. Yeah. Someone's going to have the 1 o'clock.
It always can be avoided. The NFL chose not to avoid it this particular season. With your boys, you should be up in arms, but you're used to it because the Lions always get the short end of the stick.
They do. They
got screwed.
I don't think they are looking at the Lions as a viable threat to win tonight in Green Bay, and therefore I don't think they cared about when they scheduled the Seahawks and
but don't you think
Rams, Seahawks, Rams?
Don't
right?
you think that Seattle, Detroit should put all their efforts into winning that game tonight?
Regardless.
No, I'm saying if they had a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But now, if Seattle wins, Detroit has nothing to gain. Like, you actually, your Lions didn't get screwed. Seattle was really the ones that got screwed. Because there's a chance that they could win, and then Detroit dumps in the game. Whereas if they played at the same time, Detroit's going to go balls to the wall to try to win, not knowing if Seattle has won.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then that not even getting into consideration the Kansas City-Buffalo travesty with, the whole
we'll get
number one seed. Those games should have been played at the same time, too.
We got plenty to get to in terms of what happened this week. I haven't, and my bad for not mentioning the only story in football this week, Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills, and the news continues to get better and better as the week goes on. I was the one kind of pushing back on the initial reports when people were, I thought, prematurely celebrating when they were talking about, the first reports of, he's made progress overnight. People are like, oh, thank God. I'm like, don't thank God just yet. There's a long way to go here. And even after he was awake and responsive, but still intubated, I thought it was early for people to, kind of be breathing a sigh of relief. I said, if whatever you're engaged in, spiritually, mentally, prayers, thoughts, whatever, you got to keep those going. He's this not quite out of the woods yet. And the doctors make a point of saying he is still a very critically ill man.
Yeah.
And you need to, keep him in your thoughts and prayers if that is something that you do. But having said that, him communicating with his teammates, not to mention his, doctors and family and everything else, but actually being aware and apparently, full mental capacities, it's fantastic news. And I think a weight is lifted from this game as a result.
Yeah, especially, that was a big line of questioning. Didn't hear from anybody on Wednesday. Started to hear from players on Thursday. And that was, I think, when, they started to get reports that the breathing tube was coming out and, he was starting to show some signs of recovery. And, I think the hard thing was just on Friday asking the guys, like, how do you walk into this right now and, try to compete against these Buffalo Bills players that, all week you've been feeling so much empathy for their situation and what they went through. And I think that they're all just looking at it. We have to just take one step at a time. We have to get to the stadium, get ready. And, I'm sure there's going to be a presentation of some sort before the game, perhaps featuring Damar Hamlin, which would be, great. The Patriots are kind of in an impossible situation. I mean, this is already a huge, just aside from all the Damar Hamlin stuff, it's a really hard team for them to beat. They haven't beaten them in a while. The Bills have kind of owned them, especially in the last three matchups. Yep. We know what happened in the playoff game last year. I go at it. We're Patriots.com. Patriots are our protagonists. We watch this story all year. It just feels like suddenly you're just kind of an antagonist in the movie that dies early. You're not really, no one really cares about the Patriots. Everybody's looking at the Bills and what can the Bills do, and this is going to be such an inspiration for them and their season. And the Patriots are like, geez, we got to try to go in there and win a game to make the playoffs. It's a tough spot for them. I hope that they're able to withstand the storm early and maybe let the game unfold. Get over these initial emotions that are going to make it really hard just to be in that environment. I mean, everybody's going to be across the country going to be pulling against the Patriots today, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think for one of the rare times, Patriots fans always think that. For one of the rare times, I think it's accurate today. I think most neutral observers of the NFL will be rooting for good things to happen to Buffalo today.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, having said that, in terms of the national attitude toward the Patriots today, and they're wrong, of course, but I think nationally, they're not looking upon them as necessarily the villains. Antagonists maybe, but they're not viewed as a real threat to come in and win this game today. I think the national narrative, once Damar Hamlin FaceTimed his teammates in the locker room a couple of days ago, was Bills by a million, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that is thought it doesn't, and it really doesn't matter who they play all that much, but the Patriots this year with Mac Jones? Don't worry about it. Now, we, of course, all know that's wrong, and we're all picking the Patriots to win today, I'm sure. But from a national, I agree. It's a crappy position to be in as a fan of that team if you're looked upon as, the the guy playing Tiger Woods in the final round of the Masters. It's like, a whole world is rooting against you.
Yeah.
I don't think people are rooting against the Patriots because I don't think I don't think anyone has a reasonable expectation of them winning outside of New England.
Yeah, that's why.
Outside of this room,
right.
of course.
I said it the way I did because I feel like people want good things to happen for Buffalo.
Yes.
It's not necessarily like
right.
an anti-New England thing.
Yeah.
It's a pro-Buffalo thing today.
Yeah.
And they've had a lot of stuff. Beyond this tragic event that happened Monday night.
Oh my God!
I mean, with from the weather to their radio play-by-play guy had a stroke. I mean,
And
there's
wasn't it
there's a lot.
Dawson Knox's brother?
Brother died in during the summer.
Oh, jeez. Hardy, we had a moment. What you brought up was kind of like that Rocky II when Adrian comes out of the coma and all of it, and you're like, what are we waiting for? Moment of like, oh great,
Yeah,
like,
I was
we're
gonna
Mr. T.
I was
Here
going
comes
to send out one of those gifs.
Sorry, we're Apollo in the
GIFs.
rematch. You got no
I would
gifs?
say
GIF.
Yeah.
my favorite
But then I was
thing.
like, I'll get in trouble. Smeal mainly. Smeal mainly. Can you read that, Rock?
My favorite thing this week was him waking up and immediately asking, "Did we win?"
Yeah.
But did we win?
You won tomorrow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that
You
was
won.
like. Like,
Just waking
You-
up, like
well,
first words, like, okay,
where do we begin? Like you talk about his health, but then you start getting into just the whole nation is behind you right now. Your foundation now has about $10 million in the bank. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just what a whirlwind for him waking up.
By the way, that was a classic case of watching it and hearing it versus reading it. Because when I
Yeah.
read the thing from the doctor when he said, "After we won the game," the doctor said, "You won. You won the game of life." I'm like, shut up. Oh, gross. And then I saw the doctor from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center when he was speaking at the podium, and the way he delivered the line, I'm like, that's so much better than
What you
written.
reading it, yeah.
It's so much better than reading it, because reading it, it's like in the worst Disney adaptation
Oh,
of this
absolutely.
story, you would not write that line.
right.
But the way the doctor said it, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's believable.
That's believable. I actually believe that he said that, and the way he just delivered it, good for you. Good for you.
How would a great actor have developed that? Delivered that line. Give that to
Understated.
Right.
Very understated.
know where to put the pause and
Right.
nail it.
That's
Get
good
you,
stuff.
Get you teared up.
All right, so a lot more in Damar Hamlin and the scenarios that the league has come up with to determine a home field and everything else. I imagine Paul has some real thoughts on this.
I just
but we'll
think
get to it.
I think it's odd. That's all I'll say. I think their solution was a little odd to me.
Okay, we'll get to that. But first, we got to do the keys to the game.
Hardo. Why did you leave the keys up on the table? You wanted to.
You've waited all week for it.
The whole team's in the locker room right now, just listening to this, waiting to hear what you're going to say.
Without these keys, the Patriots are destined and doomed to fail.
Here are Hardy, Paul, Mike, and Tamara's keys to the game.
Why did I steal your key to the game also?
You have the key. You have the right one.
Keys to the game are brought to you by Mike Dussault, Paul Perillo, Tamara Brown, and me, Hardy. And we are going to give you those keys, and the Patriots are listening in the locker room right now. And, of course, without them, there's a chance they could lose today if they don't follow these keys. Yeah. So let's get to it. Paul, I want you to lead us off, if you would, please.
Oh, checks notes.
What did I write?
Oh, my God.
Force turnovers and turn them into points. Today, it's not going to be enough to just force turnovers. They're going to need to turn them into points. I think they need some help, and they need some we talked a lot about the emotional elements. I do think, and I'm not going to get into this like that great because it's such a subjective thing. I think there's at least a chance that this works against Buffalo today too, with just the jacked up emotions of the night, and sometimes that doesn't really work in your favor on the field. But what is working in Buffalo's favor definitively is the amount of talent they have, and with Josh Allen in particular. 15 touchdowns, no interceptions in his last, I think, 5 games against the Patriots. That can't stay the same. That second number can't stay the same. They have to find a way to take the ball away and turn that into points. They need some help offensively.
And by points, not a field goal. like a touchdown would be great. Like I feel like there's been so many opportunities, and you've heard players say this in the locker room. They're so frustrated that they aren't able to capitalize on the defense, either, getting that stop on third down or even just after a turnover. Say if, Duggar doesn't run it in for a touchdown. They aren't able to score. It's a pick 3 or sometimes a pick nothing.
Yeah.
Pick 3.
The pick
I'm glad that's become part of the lexicon.
And I give you credit for it every time I say it in front of someone who hasn't heard it.
Yeah.
So that's a Hardyism.
Hardyism.
Pick 3.
Pick 3. Whatever.
Or pick nothing.
Use it. No, don't try and improve upon it.
Pick nothing. Those have happened a lot this season as well.
Pick backwards.
Pocket. Pick your nose. All right.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, all right, Tamara. What's your key to the game?
My key is to be laser focused. I think they came into this game, obviously, with a lot of emotions running high, even before Damar Hamlin. Like, this is already a high-pressure game where it's a trash bag game. It's a must-win game. It's a win-or-go-home game. But I think when you add this Damar Hamlin...
By the way, they're going home because it's on the road.
Thank you, Hardy. You're sass today. No sass. Okay. Like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, when you add the Damar Hamlin element into it, then you're already distracted. You're distracted, about that happening to you. You're distracted on, the fact that the Bills are going to be coming in here extra motivated. You're distracted by the Bills mafia who are already insane as it is. And so I think that when you come into this game, you have to be laser focused as much as you can be, not focusing on the extra things that are happening, on the field around you, Damar Hamlin, support. It's just a lot of things going on that I feel like it can be easily for you to be distracted and forget the game plan, forget how important this game really is.
I like it. It's not your best, but nowhere near your worst key.
This is an emotional game.
Yeah.
Times
that's fine.
10.
Deuce just decided to recycle a key.
Right.
Oh, wow.
We didn't find a way last time we played
Part
Buffalo.
two.
So
I don't even know that we need to do this one. I mean, do you want to give him a chance
Maybe we could roll it back.
to try and explain this and make it sound like you put some thought into it or not?
I could fluff it up a little bit, make it sound
To
a
be
little
fair, I think
easy.
a lot of us have recycled keys this year.
You try to
Secure the ball.
Try to capture this. the spirit of the
No
thing.
turnovers.
You could
Secure
have
the
Pauls
ball.
every week. I mean, that's pretty much the team. I mean, that's what they do, right? I mean, you force turnovers, you get points off the turnovers. That's when they win. I mean, that is the key.
Your key is what
find
now?
a way. I just there's so much going against
Now,
them today.
find a way part 2.
They didn't find a way last time they played Buffalo,
Okay.
which was my key. So now maybe part 2. We're just going to try to find a way today. A lot more going against them today. I mean, the first find a way was just find a way to stop Josh Allen. Now it's like find a way to emotionally overcome this whole thing that's going to go on pregame, and everybody's got Pray for Damar shirts on, including the Patriots, which I love for Damar. So, everybody is on that board. I mean, I guess I like in some ways the Patriots are hopping on that board too. Like kind of they're claiming him too, is like, we're all for Damar. But it's a tough thing today. Find a way. I think Paul's got the right specific to it. Defense is probably going to have to be involved with points. But expecting them in Week 18 to suddenly go off on offense or do something you haven't seen all year, I'm not expecting that. But I think it's going to be one of those games, special team score, defensive score. If they're going to win, that's what it's going to take.
Okay.
A random way. We can move on.
Hardy,
Thanks.
what do you got?
So it's a good thing that Marcus Jones is better because they're going to need him to find a way.
Yep. I think he's part of it. Yep.
See, there's Tamara kind of bailing you out a
helped
little
me.
bit.
I know. I appreciate
engaging you.
Throwing me a lifeline there.
I feel it's my job as facilitator to engage and to bring out the best.
Not this time.
I couldn't force myself.
With Marcus Jones, you can find a way. You can find a spark. You can get that special teams touchdown or that defensive touchdown, or even put him in on offense and he can get you a touchdown there. Like,
you're restoring my self-confidence as a person.
I kind of like the
Marcus Jones. He can help you find a way.
You know what? If you want to be a jerk about it, and I think that's my theme for today. Not to be a jerk.
Be a jerk. Just being a jerk.
Like today is different.
So anytime I hear you say not to be, whatever you're saying after that, just throw it out the window.
Right. How about find a way to make Damar Hamlin as much about you as it is about the Bills?
I know.
It's kind of.
Well, I was kind of saying, is there any chance DeMar could call the Patriots too? Could we do a
This is
FaceTime
why
with him for the Patriots?
Like, can we draw
this
this
is why I'm not
emotion?
necessarily saying this game is over because there's no way the Bills are losing today. I've seen a million examples of this kind of emotion, and all of a sudden you come out, you're all jacked up, you make a couple of mistakes, and it works against you.
I think I heard you say that on Felger Maz this week too.
Especially Josh Allen. I mean, he's a guy that likes to take it all on himself. He's made fumbles this year.
How's he been playing the last 6-8 games in terms of his quarterback rating and his touchdown to interception ratio?
Good, just not great.
Not the Josh Allen that we were all afraid of at the end of last year. Like, can you imagine facing this guy?
It's amazing how when you blow out your UCL nerve in your elbow and you don't play as well. Like,
I've never
it's-
even heard of that until this year.
It's Tommy John surgery. Is
UCL?
what you hear.
Yeah.
Your ulnar collateral.
Collateral.
Spell it.
ULNAR. Ulnar.
Ulna.
Ulna, kid. It's
I
an
don't think
ulna.
so.
It's an ulna.
But
Hardy's just avoiding having to tell us what his key is, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
it's-
still waiting for this one. What is it?
well, buffaloes have humps. You need to get over the hump. That's my key to the game. You got to get over the hump of the Buffalo Bills, which have asserted themselves as the cream of the crop in the AFC East. They have beaten you handily the last couple of times. I know you got the win in Buffalo and last year.
Right.
Okay,
That one just
whatever.
kind of stands out.
Anybody really think that the Patriots are somehow on any way kind of an even playing field with Buffalo these days over the last couple of years? No. You got to get over the hump. You need to. I don't know that you'll be able to reassert yourself as a dominant force in the AFC East in one game, but you need one of those games where the team on paper that's not supposed to win ends up winning anyway. And Paul made a great point about that weather game in Buffalo a couple of years ago, and it's something I've drawn on many times since then. And that is, and we talked about it last week even, in a game where something levels the playing field, either conditions-wise, injury-wise, something, you'll take a Bill Belichick coach team in those games every single time.
Right.
So, that one, you need a game where you go in, and on paper, the Bills still should have won that game, the weather game. They didn't. But you need one that is not leveled out by 30-mile-an-hour winds or something else. You need a win like that. You need to get over that hump and get yourself a win today when, by all expectations and probabilities and analysis, you should not. The Patriots, on paper, do not win this game today.
No,
So,
and most likely it's if the Patriots do win this game, it's the Bills weren't ready, and it's an emotional week for them.
And that's what
you know.
stinks.
you got to pull off a shocker.
And
That's all.
But that's what stinks because the Patriots are in kind of a no-win situation. If they do pull off the upset, the aftermath of that upset is going to be poor Buffalo. I mean, they didn't even start practicing until Thursday.
Yeah.
They weren't there emotionally, mentally. They weren't ready, and that I think is unfortunate.
I want to get into
It probably won't be wrong, but it's unfortunate.
I want to get into all that, more in detail later on in the show in terms of no one's blaming Buffalo for being emotional or for them, not wanting to play the rest of the game on Monday night. Since then, I think you can second guess a lot of decisions made by the league and for scheduling purposes. You can second guess a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying that people won't say poor Buffalo, but they had opportunity to prepare for this game, and I still believe that the league could have said, you know what, you're going to have to play this game. This is going to be a huge mess if you guys don't play this game Tuesday night or Wednesday night. They chose not to. They chose this other scenario, which I do not understand why they're going ahead with this. And I think in some ways it does Buffalo a disservice because now it hands Buffalo this gift of, you know what? You're probably not gonna have to end up in Kansas City as a result of this. We're gonna do you guys a solid. Who's to say they need to be done a solid? They're the Buffalo Bills.
I don't think they were really done a solid. I think they were both Cincinnati especially was screwed.
Yeah, did
but
you see their
gets
tweet?
screwed.
But I think Buffalo was screwed too because both of those teams had a chance to have that game take place in their buildings, and now they don't have that chance.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was interesting that the Bengals tweeted anyways after the news came out. It was pretty entertaining.
They're
personally.
pissed.
Yeah.
And
They're
I don't
pissed.
and I don't blame them. I'm no huge Zach Taylor, Mike Brown fan, but I don't blame them for being felt like they were done wrong. Now, you can take care of it yourself. You win the game today, that coin flip thing goes away. All you have to do is win, and they should win at home against a team without its quarterback.
Yeah.
So just go out and win a game, but I don't blame Cincinnati for having that mentality.
I don't either. I mean, they were really peaking, it felt like. I mean, they were on a hot streak. They were knocking teams off. I mean, they've beaten both these teams. So it's just the way it was coming together, it seems like they are the ones who are kind of getting derailed in the whole – I mean, the Patriots, not the – I mean,
gonna say,
were
they
in
didn't
the
beat
Bills. I know,
Buffalo.
they hadn't beaten Buffalo yet. But they had the opportunity in that game, that
Right.
they very well could have won that game. They very well could win this week, and they would have been the number one overall seed.
Yeah, and I know we don't want to bog the whole 2-hour show today with what the league did, but I still don't really understand why they wouldn't have just played the Week 18 games today, as they should have. I think everything was right there, and then just play Buffalo-Cincinnati next week. I just make it a week 19 for just those two teams and push the playoffs back a week. I just thought that made a lot of sense.
Do you think they were worried about bringing Buffalo back to Cincinnati and, like, emotionally, like, how that would have been for them? Do you think, like, just replaying that again?
I don't think that was in play, but, I mean, they could have to do that anyway. I mean, they could play in the playoffs. If the Bills lose today and the Bengals win, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that they flip-flop seeds, right?
I think so. If they
Okay.
I don't know who gets the – I don't know who wins the tiebreaker there. I shouldn't say that could happen. But
to your first point, Paul, why not push everything back a week?
Yeah.
And eliminate including the Super Bowl?
No. There's a week between the conference championship and the Super Bowl. So that's the week that's built in.
That's the week that's built in. But also, two things happen. Number one, teams want to be in the Super Bowl to have a bye week, a week of rest and a week to get ready. So the teams were not going to be happy about that.
I totally agree. And I think what they were trying to do was keep it as much normal as they could. But I think that they're impacting more teams doing it this way than they would have that way. Because really, the only two teams, I think felt like waiting 2 weeks before that playoffs now, like, is everybody, and then Cincinnati and Buffalo wouldn't have had those 2 weeks off. So now they're the better teams, and they're playing against the team in Wild Card Weekend. The loser is playing against a team potentially that had 2 weeks to prepare. So they didn't want to do that. But in terms of, like, the two Super Bowl teams, there's only two teams.
There's only two, but there's so much that goes into it, and I don't think the league wanted to put that on the fans and the sponsors and everybody else. We've been to Super Bowls. You see, like, the circus that is the Super Bowl. There's a lot of prep, and quite frankly, there's a lot of people who are traveling to those towns. They want and need that week built in to get ready for it.
I get it. I don't hate it. I don't
up.
hate what they did. My solution would have been to play the game because I think it just made too much of an impact on the seedings. I don't like the idea of the neutral site. I think if you wanted to do it this way, they should have just said, well, 14-3 is better than 13-3.
Winning percentage, that's it. That's it. You just go on what was in place, that they put in place during the COVID
year. And I also
year.
think they went out of their way to make sure Buffalo had a chance with this neutral site thing, but not Cincinnati. And that's why I think Cincinnati's sort of like, hey,
that's why
what about us? We couldn't play that game either.
That's why I feel like Buffalo got a little bit of a pat on the head from the league, which I would take as somewhat disrespectful. Yeah. I'm like, look, any team is going to take whatever advantage they're given, but you don't want people feeling sorry for you. You don't want to be given any kind of an advantage based on something as horrific as what happened to Damar Hamlin. But here they have it, and the neutral site thing is stupid. How about this? Let's make this inconvenient and just suck for fans of both teams.
Right.
Have it in a neutral site, and I would not.
I really don't like the neutral site.
I hate the neutral site, and believe me. If this is in any way successful, watch the NFL try and do this. Neutral site conference championship games, not the worst idea in the world.
Yeah, I think it's up there.
I think well, for me, what I love about the conference championship games is it feels like the last real football game of the season. You're in an actual home stadium. Right. It's an actual real atmosphere rather than the Super Bowl, which is kind of an exhibition of sorts, and there's all kinds of fans. Thank you for all pointing at me. Can I say one more thing?
I couldn't agree more.
If it's as good as what you just said, you just talk the rest
floor
of the
is
show.
yours. Matter of fact, you got another hour. You got another hour 45. You just go.
Interesting dynamic. I was playing with the ESPN playoff machine here a little bit.
A little bit.
And so, assuming Cincinnati beats Baltimore, basically what it boils down for me is if the Patriots then win, Cincinnati wins. So Patriots beat Buffalo, Cincinnati beats Baltimore. The Patriots go to Cincinnati.
So they can flip-flop.
They can flip-flop. If
so
the Patriots lose
Buffalo
and get in, they're going back to Buffalo.
So if Buffalo has to go to – wait a minute, what?
So if Buffalo wins, beats the Patriots, and Cincinnati wins, they're both.
Yeah, Buffalo's the 2 if Buffalo wins.
Right.
But if Buffalo loses and Cincinnati wins, Buffalo's the 3.
Buffalo loses and according to ESPN,
right. So Buffalo's the 3. They would slip. So Buffalo would have to go to Cincinnati in the divisional round. in the 2-3 game, assuming they both win.
Yep. Interesting dynamic, though. I mean, and I think it's not that the Patriots need any more incentive, but I think that you can at least talk yourself into, hey, it'd be better to go to Cincinnati next week than it would be to go back to Buffalo again. You know, and if you beat Buffalo, then you got to beat, you know, I mean, you lose to them once, you got to go back there again. I don't know. If you beat them, you don't have to go back there, at least out of the gate. I don't know. There's some appeal in that to me.
All right. We are not going behind enemy lines. I canceled that segment this week.
Oh, you canceled it?
I
Was that
canceled
an executive decision by you? Do you want to share with the rest of the class?
Yeah, I got tired of using a military term for our silly little show here.
It.
I thought it was stolen valor. And out of respect to Marine Matt, I said, we're not doing it. I don't know. I guess Matt.
I guess Maddie. Person to say it, so please stop.
It's not Matty Glab not available. I don't know.
I mean, obviously, the media in Buffalo has a lot of things going on pregame today, and we sort of respected that. And I think Matt made the decision to, sort of step back. They're all busy with some pregame work of their own.
Right.
I think Maddie is she's like us, right? She's like Mike, Tamara, and I.
Yeah.
And she's, not really doing any of the pregame stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Be insensitive to have LePan pose as a Bills reporter. That's not.
Now
not,
you'll be going.
Didn't we do that one week?
I think we did one week.
a
faux reporter.
We could do a version of it right now. Let's bring in Mike Deuce from the BillsMafia.gov joining us now. Mikey Deuce, thanks.
.gov.
Hello.
Thanks.
Hello.
Yeah. So big game today, huh?
Yeah, it's been a tough week here this week, but we've got some good news about Damar, and we're hopeful that the team's going to be able to refocus.
Oh, hey, you got that beef on whack?
Did you have a question for Mikey Deuce of BillsMafia.gov?
I do. Josh Allen on the injury report this week. Is there any concern there?
No.
Okay. Paul, question for Mikey Deuce.
I have nothing for him.
What's your score prediction?
Bills a lot, Patriots not so much.
All right. Hey, thanks for the time. You can follow him at Deuce.
That took a turn there at the end.
Yeah.
We were having fun.
Good times.
All right.
Had LePan come in.
All right.
Now we're done.
So look at this. I mean, the show is moving right along. We're like all the way down to over-unders in my little sheet.
Check them out.
No, we're look at all these phone calls we got first. Come on. We got to do that first. Let's do it. But the over-unders are exciting. Those will be
right down to the wire for us here. I mean,
wow.
Talk about a trash bag game.
This is going to be fun today.
Yeah.
But first, let's do the not so fun thing. Talk to Pat Nagawam.
Let me take a selfie.
Oh, that's unfortunate that happened.
Hurtful.
Oh, Hardy, you broke my heart, man.
I love you. Come on. Let's go.
I think the only people cheering for the Patriots in this game are actual Patriots fans, and probably half of them with max quote-unquote affluenza probably don't care whether we win this game or not. But I think we'll be vilified nationally, and honestly, had none of this Damar Hamlin stuff happened, I didn't see how they would win this game anyway. But our good friend Alex Barth, I think, had the most crucial key to the game, which is try and shorten the game, run the ball, and control the clock, limit Buffalo's possessions. I mean, if you can get them to only 5 possessions, I mean, maybe they score 35 points, but, maybe you stop them a couple times. Maybe you hold them to a couple field goals, and the game could be a bit more competitive. But
do the Patriots score when they're doing that?
Probably not, Paul.
No, but I'm just saying, I'm all for shortening the game if you score. Like, I thought Tennessee did a great job with this last night. The first drive that they got, 10 minutes, they get a field goal. Like, I know they only got 3 points, but they took 10 minutes off the clock while scoring. If you can do that, that's how you shorten the game. But if you don't score, like, this is what they tried to do in the game Thursday night in early December. They tried to shorten the game, and Buffalo ended up saying, you want to shorten the game? You want to back off? We'll just run the ball all night, and we'll hold the ball all night.
Yeah.
And the game was never competitive. Never, not once.
40 minutes.
Was the game competitive.
But I think you would see, Paulie, just what we've seen all year, which is, settle for field goals, hope that you get a defensive touchdown. And I just don't think it. I don't think the Pats have it. in their arsenal to compete in this game,
It's a
physically
bit-
and mentally.
Yeah,
and
I just
Patty,
think
it's a big ass.
Yeah, I think people look at it and say the Patriots just need to run the ball without realizing for 3 months they haven't been able to run the ball.
Right. Yeah.
I'm thinking
What can
the
I say?
Bills
We've watched a lot of football this year, Pat. Something tells me, my gut tells me, that the first offensive series for the Patriots is going to consist of a screen, a run, and an incompletion on third down.
In all seriousness, I would get ready.
We can talk about all we want. It's like, what have they shown us beyond that that's what they're going to do?
I would get ready for more short stuff, but maybe with a couple of shots taken, sprinkled in downfield, because Buffalo's defense. That's what everybody sort of thinks is the way to attack it, underneath, and make them tackle in space. They did a good job of tackling in space in the game against them in the Thursday night game.
Don't forget a false start or a holding penalty
Oh,
on that first series. But,
see, you're worse than I am, Pat.
I'm picking the Bills to win 31-17. Let's go get Pete Skronsky, Paris Johnson Jr., or the kid from Georgia in the first round. Let's do it, baby.
Boy,
all right, guys. Talk to you in the post game.
We have
Hi, Patty.
very, very similar final score predictions, you and I today, Pat. He almost within a point. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Just trying to figure out ways where the Patriots could do it. And, Paul, you couldn't be more right. Some of these scenarios about running the ball or doing this, so you want the – it sounds better than deep downfield threats, throw 60-yard bombs on go routes and score that way. Okay, well, that's not going to happen. Well, running the ball probably isn't going to happen either.
Right. And listen, if they have success offensively, I don't care what they do. You know what I mean? If it works, I don't care if it's shortening the game. But if they score, that to me is the key to the game. You have to find a way to put points on the board.
Right, but I don't know what they do. I cannot give an honest key to say this is what you need to do in order to score today.
I think I'm with Paul. I really don't care if it's not aesthetically pleasing to watch. If they score, they score. Even if it's boring, if they score, they score.
Oh, you mean you don't care about style points today?
No style points today. And also, I think the defense cannot wait until the second half to make adjustments. For example, what happened in the Cincinnati game, where we're at halftime and we're like, oh my God, I think they might lose 40-0. That can't happen today because the offense is not in a place where they can, do that second half comeback. We've yet to see them do it. I mean, we've seen them almost do it, but they still haven't done it.
Yeah, I just wonder if they're going to try to bust something out like they did with Marcus Jones in this first matchup. I mean, that was, big play. It was really, one of the only sniffs they got. Do they just kind of throw caution to the wind a little bit? Do they bust out some trick plays? Do they just, kind of empty the bag, so to speak, how aggressive they are? I don't know. But
trick plays, do you know they haven't had one other person other than a quarterback throw a pass this year? It'll be the first time since 2013.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Get Jacoby involved. I really don't care what's happening behind the scenes with Kendrick Bourne, but you need to play him.
I gotta believe that Marcus Jones could throw a pass. He can do everything else.
Sure. I mean,
probably.
Jacoby's shoulder, he's got a shoulder injury, so maybe that's scaring them away. But I mean, I do just think it's interesting generally because I think we always looked at those things as pulling out all the stops to generate offense any way possible, and this team needed to do more of that this year. I mean, I think maybe you had some opportunities missed not to try more of that stuff. I don't know why. I mean, it just feels almost like you couldn't quite get everybody on the same page for just the basic stuff, and how do you get past that and start doing trick plays when, it's hard enough just to execute your regular stuff.
We have an email from Nick in Wisconsin who says, first off, want to say I love the show. Second, if you're one of the vets on the Patriots, what would you say to Mac Jones about his outbursts? Or do you even say anything to him?
Just be cool, bro. Just be cool. Just be cool.
He's
just
right.
Be cool.
He's having a good show.
Once we got past that find a way part.
I know. You lit a fire under me, Hardy.
Find a way redux.
Be better.
Yeah.
But be cool.
Right.
It's a lot of all the time. I just there's something to be said for, and I always point out one of my big things with Mac is when he takes a sack on third down or something, it's he jumps up and he sprints off the field as if he can't wait to be I can't wait to get to the sideline. There's no he needs be cool. You gotta have this sense of this isn't going the right way, you guys. Come on, pick it up for that sense that Brady would kind of have sometimes, or any good quarterback. I think when they walk off the field and you're oh, he's simmering right now, but you can tell it's under his skin. It's not he comes.
And I don't need a robot. Like, I don't need an emotionless guy who's like, well, it says
he
here in the
needs to be
quarterback
like Joe
manual.
Burrow. He needs to be like Joe Burrow. Like, when you look at Joe Burrow, like, even second half of that game when you're like, what is going on? Like, when the Patriots were, air quote, catching up, I feel like he never lost his cool. Like, he just nothing about him changed. It's not like he didn't care, but
most
he
greats
didn't change.
don't change, winning or losing.
Yeah.
Name the sport. Most of them don't show that much emotion. He needs the male veteran equivalent of Penny Lane from Almost Famous to be, hey, be cool.
Seems just for the band. You know?
Yeah, just chill. That's what he needs. He's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever notice he has the?
I love it. I mean,
He has the reference for every situation.
I love Almost Famous
Movie.
too.
It's a great movie. It's great.
It's really good.
Great soundtrack.
Really good. You ever seen Almost Famous?
No.
Tamara?
Aw,
What do you do?
Watch
What
Law
do
and
you
Order.
do? What do you
that's
do,
right.
guy?
Watch Law and Order. New episodes are back every Wednesday.
There's enough Law and Orders to keep you occupied till the end of time. Like 7 different.
What do you do,
Dick
guy?
Wolf.
Watch
Just
Law and
counting all
Order.
that money.
So,
Tamara got him.
do you see reruns? Obviously, you watch reruns.
Yeah.
Ones that you've never seen before?
I have came across ones that I've never seen before.
Yeah,
Gotta be
that's-
on since before she was born, Hardy,
Yeah.
right?
They have to be. I mean, there's so many of them.
Has it been?
Floyd
That's
in
amazing.
I know Floyd in Michigan. What's going on, Floyd?
Mr. Floyd?
Good morning, everybody.
There he
Hey.
is.
Morning.
Hello, sir.
Let me begin by saying that Miss Tamara Brown's jean jacket is very stylish and quite cool.
Yeah, you know what? I did notice it. Now, is it a jacket or is it a blouse?
It's not a blouse, I'm sure.
It has buttons like
not
a
quite
blouse.
as thick as a
It's
jacket.
technically a button-up, but I am kind of wearing it as a jacket today.
Okay.
You look fantastic. I have to ask, who are you wearing?
I'm wearing Wear by Aaron Andrews, Wear by EA, sports broadcaster of all the things, sideline reporter.
She has her own label.
She has her own line.
Wow.
Not
know?
for you, though.
No, apparently
Because
not.
men don't know how to make women's athletic gear that fits. The end.
Did you have anything else, Floyd?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I have a question. I was listening this morning to a podcast with Boomer Esiason,
Okay.
and the conversation was basically head coaches, tomorrow being possible some coaches being fired. Boomer brought up an interesting. He said, keep an eye on Tennessee.
I know.
He said that the GM was fired, and there's just some things going on. My question is, if Mike Vrabel comes available, are you picking up the phone?
To be the head coach in New England or to bring aboard the staff
Yeah,
under
to,
Bill Belichick?
to do what? Yeah.
And here's the problem. Okay, so I know there's a lot of y'all that just do not want to let this man go, Bill Belichick. My concern is this. So to answer your question, I'm talking to be the head coach.
Okay, Floyd, let me answer your question. I'm not hiring Mike Vrabel to replace Bill Belichick in 2023.
Oh, I would.
You would?
Yeah.
You'd hire Vrabel to replace Bill next
If Bill
year?
doesn't want to do any changes and all that stuff, yeah.
Okay.
I
All right.
would.
All right.
I love me some Mike Vrabel. I mean, I think it is with that caveat of Bill has to.
Well, that's a
Be
much,
on the same page of
that's
building?
a
Yeah.
much different caveat too. If I agree with you, Paul, I think we all agree. If Bill's unwilling to change the makeup of this staff in any way, then I don't know anybody who would. This really sucks, to lose one of the greatest coaches of all time. But this is untenable.
Yeah.
This is unsustainable. This cannot continue. I don't think it's going to come to that. Do you think it's going to come to that? Do you think there's a chance? There's a chance, of course.
Okay,
but realistically,
this is basically if this game doesn't go the way I think it sounds like a lot of us expect, I think this could be the vast majority of our postgame show today.
Save it.
But yeah, I think there's a chance.
Wow. Okay. Well, in that case,
Am I
Floyd,
betting on it? No.
Floyd, my apologies. I'll take
Right.
Vrabel. Sure.
My bet would be what you guys are saying. Bill's back. There's some changes with the offensive staff. That's my bet. That's what I would put my money on. But am I convinced of that? Nope.
I don't know, and we can save this for the post game. I don't know that ownership loves Mike Vrabel.
I don't know the answer to that either.
Let me put it this way. I don't think ownership loves Mike Vrabel.
But here's the other thing.
He would have to issue a retraction about his comments about Patriot Place in order to get the job back.
It's a long time ago. and here's the other thing is, so like, and this is what,
Not
like,
a fan.
Again, this is, I think we could get an hour and 45 minutes after we do the good, bad, and the injured in the postgame show if things don't go well today.
Great.
Talking about this stuff, but like, what I think separates the really good owners and the really good leaders, businessmen, is their ability to sort of adjust to something when it changes on the fly.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of us a month ago would have even entertained the possibility that somebody like Mike Vrabel could be available. And I don't know if he's going to be available, but they lost 7 in a row. I know it wasn't all his fault. They have like 24 guys on IR. I think he's a tremendous coach. I think last night, given what he had to work with, a kid that played his second career start in 6 years in the league, had them 2 minutes and 51 seconds away from winning. Okay? If you're Robert Kraft, I didn't expect a guy of that caliber to be available. He is available now. What do I do? Does that make sense for us? Like, how many more years am I going to have Bill?
Right. And
like, if it goes unbelievably well for Bill, what are you getting? 2 more years out of him? 3?
It's so funny. I was going back.
So you might have to make a tough decision, is my point.
You have to go 1 year too early.
Right. Because somebody that you couldn't pass up became available.
Turn Bill on himself.
I thought the line of the like Tom Curran wrote this line, and it was, I think, one of the best lines that I've seen about this situation. Bill Belichick would have cut ties with Bill Belichick by now. He wrote that about 6 weeks ago. Like
That's really good.
the whole year before,
Sure.
Better than a year later.
Yep. I went back and I was searching some best of material for Felger and Maz on Friday and found something from.
How much did you get of me in there? God, I thought we had a thing. I thought we had chemistry. You're promising me like a fuppet.
Yeah. It's mostly Bedard, I'm imagining, right?
Yeah, it's probably all.
No,
Bedard.
this was something that's like they wanted something from like 5 years ago this week.
Oh,
and
the inactive lists are out.
One of the things was talking about Bill lasting another couple of years, and that was it. That was 5 years ago. Like, what do you think? You have 2-3 more years?
No real surprises. Brendan Schooler's out, but that's it.
That's probably why Calvin Munson. I know he's a special team kind of guy.
Yeah.
Munson.
Other than that, everybody else, we kind of knew.
What's going on with Schooler?
Schooler, he's hurt.
Schooler guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't on the. He was at practice.
Schooler had a hip.
Oh, you did have a hip.
Yeah,
Yes, and he was Mike.
And he was.
I don't know when I'm going to learn you more things. He had the dreaded, not
Friday.
on the injury report on Wednesday, added on Thursday with a new injury, which tells me what?
It happened in practice.
Got hurt in practice. Those are the ones you got to keep an eye on.
He also had the bad penalty on Sunday, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did he?
Ran into the.
Oh, yeah.
Ran into the punter.
Yeah, he got hurt, though, during the week, evidently, in practice. But Jalen Mills, Jonnu Smith, Sean Wade, Sam Roberts, Josh Bledsoe, Kevin Harris, Brendan Schooler.
So Jonathan Jones, Jacoby Myers are active. One other quick funny thing from the locker room on Friday was Jelani Tavai caught a glimpse of our boy Yannick, who is our German writer, and saw him from behind and thought, quote, "I thought it was Schools. I almost whacked him." And so, luckily, he did not. But but poor Yannick almost got some crossfire there because he's got long blonde hair, just like Schooler does. So he's okay though.
He almost did what to him?
He almost. I said he whacked. I think he was going to give him like a buddy whack on the back, but
I almost did that to my sister-in-law once on her ass.
Oh, and it wasn't her?
You thought it was your lady?
This was very early on in my relationship with my wife. We were visiting her parents' house, walking past a bathroom, and saw this blonde girl standing there getting ready and couldn't see the face, and I was just gonna like give her a little. Just a little.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Let her know you're there.
Just a little slap, and I mean, my arm was cocked.
Yeah.
And then as I get in the right, angle, I caught her face in the reflection. It was not my then
abort.
Now wife. It was her sister.
Pull up.
Face palm.
Whoo. Wouldn't. Never mind. All right. We got to step aside. Okay. So let's do that.
Okay.
We want to thank Doms Dom, the official steak tip of the New England Patriots, dominate the grill this season with a tailgate box subscription. Visit domsausage.com to choose your plan. Get a curated box filled with quality meats delivered to your doorstep, ready to grill for the game. You'll be the MVP of the tailgate season.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
$1 million for picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
Every play, every pass, every performance is perfected on the training field, producing critical data that's analyzed, measured, and studied. Acronis keeps that data safe and ensures it's there to use whenever and wherever it's needed.
Verizon, the network America relies on, and the official 5G network of the New England Patriots. Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
There's no season better than football season. And there's no better place to get in on all of the action than with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the New England Patriots. To add to the thrill, DraftKings has millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs every week. So head to the app now and check it out. If you haven't tried it yet, fantasy football is easy to play. Just pick 9 players, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for yards, touchdowns, receptions, and so much more. There's no better way to put your football knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at $1 million in total prizes. Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week. That's promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week, only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Patriot Place is the region's #1 shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Shop your favorites, including Vineyard Vines, Express, Olympia Sports, Petco, and more. Enjoy dining at one of our 19 restaurants, including 6 String Grill and Stage, Scorpion Bar, and Bar Louie. And don't forget about the entertainment. Explore your inner artist at Muse Paint Bar, watch a movie at Showcase Cinema Deluxe, or grab a controller and start gaming at Helix Esports. For a complete directory listing, please visit patriot-place.com. Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Armstead is listed with a toe, pec, knee, and a hip. Remember the Patriots had a guy with like
knees and toes,
yeah,
knees and toes.
Right.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
You know what really, really caught my attention when Goodwill Hunting, which has been on a loop on cable here lately.
Yeah.
We were talking about it during the break, Matt. That's why I'm talking about it now.
Is that why I broke up with Skylar?
Is that right? Because we're talking about Skylar Thompson. But the kid who's always riding in the back seat with Casey Affleck, that's Rip from Yellowstone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I mean,
I haven't seen Yellowstone.
Okay, watch the first season and tap out.
Cole Hauser.
That's what I would recommend to you.
Also in Dazed and Confused. He's done a lot.
You're still watching it, Matt?
I haven't watched the new season yet, but I will once it's all out. I can binge it.
I wouldn't even bother.
Hey, Hardy.
Season 2 and 3 are pretty decent.
You know in Yellowstone when they do the horses stopping short in slow motion?
Oh, that's real cowboy stuff. Don't care. Tell me a story.
I didn't realize that's how cowboys stack up. Like, how well can you stop a horse short? That's how they measure?
Well, apparently that's the be-all, end-all. Who knew? Who knew?
Slow motion. It's amazing.
All right, let's grab a couple more phone calls. We have a hot and heated over-under. We're going to do our final over-unders of the regular season today, and we'll see what that ends up meaning. But first we have to talk to callers in both North and South Carolina. James, you're up first in North Carolina. What do you got for us? All right.
Absolutely.
Good job, Fred.
So if North Carolina is the Tar Heel state, what is South Carolina? Ooh. We should ask Michelle in South Carolina.
Here we go.
What is South Carolina, Michelle?
Hey, everybody. What up?
Yeah.
What up?
So,
hi.
It's not the Tar Heel state. What is it?
The Gamecocks.
The Gamecock.
The Gamecock state?
Really?
It's the whole state.
Huh.
Not the whole state. What do you mean? What?
Okay.
Not the Tiger
Carolina
State?
Game-
No, never mind. How you doing, Michelle?
Never mind, Patty.
Did you get your hoodie?
No.
Oh, I was supposed to be there yesterday. All right.
Well, I'm not home. I'm not from the. I'm not working in 3 hours from my house.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, what do you got on the game?
So let me ask. I have a question and a comment.
Okay.
How many are we going to use? All 3 running backs on the roster? Harrison and Stevenson and Pierre Strong. Do you think?
Probably not Strong.
Why? Oh, you don't think Strong?
I don't think he'll get many snaps unless one of those guys gets hurt.
All right, my few keys, you guys touched on a lot of them. I talked to Joe Murray and Leroy, and I agree that the offense has to come out extra aggressive. They just have to throw the game book away and just come out, and I feel like they need to play a lot of no huddle. I think they need to get Buffalo's defense extremely tired.
You know what?
And I think the best.
In terms of offensive plans, and Michelle, thank you for the call. Good to hear from you.
Yep.
Thank
Michelle's
you.
is a good one.
Michelle is a good one.
Great one.
Okay, you can't tell me anything like X's and O's wise that the Patriots can do offensively. It's going to change my
And
mind.
that was Patty's point on the first call.
Right.
I agree.
Shotgun duck.
But no huddle and go out there and try and catch them a little off guard and, just, okay, that's something. That's something that I think at least we haven't seen too much of. And when we have seen it, it can work. It can work a little bit.
But I really do think the focus needs to be on the offense. Like, I think everybody's like, how can this defense, hold you in the game? It probably can't if it doesn't get any support. If it continues to be what the offense has been for the first 16 games, you're not going to be able to keep up. You need to do something different.
South Carolina is the Palmetto State.
Palmetto. You know what?
What's a palmetto?
I
don't know.
Is that a never
Tree?
mind.
It's a tree?
Yeah, I was going to say, is it a tree?
Flower?
It's a palm. Palmetto is like a smaller size.
You ever been to South Carolina?
No.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I love
It
South
is nice.
Carolina.
Charleston, really nice. Myrtle Beach, a little touristy, but nice.
I've heard good things about Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Spent 13 weeks on Paris Island.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Is
its
this
own,
where
that's its own thing.
This is where I'm supposed to now feel bad.
Now you gotta
myself.
bow.
Oh, the Billy Joel song?
It's and we will all go down together.
Yeah.
That's right.
Classic.
He mentions Paris Island in that song. You'll be enjoying that, won't you?
I don't know. Apparently
And
not
it
up in the
was
300s from
dark.
what you told me.
So
it was hard.
Once again, Billy.
I'm not done yet.
Where were you guys when I was singing Billy Joel to Matthew Judon in the press conference? I could have used some help here with this one.
Billy Joel.
Wait, what?
You didn't know about this?
No.
You didn't know the story of me?
Okay, so the question was posed to Judon.
Yeah.
Are you going to go see Billy Joel? He's like, I don't know any Billy Joel songs. Can you sing one for me? And no one did until.
No one did. I mean, it was like totally rock, like just completely dead silent. Everyone just staring at him. And this is Judon. So I just went right into sing us a song. You're the Piano Man. Like, sing us a song. Just kind of belted it out like that. Everybody looked at me like you're looking at me now.
I can't be on the show anymore.
I thought that was a nice moment that Deuce had among the fellow.
I just let it fly.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to sing. Don't
That's
ask me to
good.
sing. I will sing.
But
happy to.
Don't ask Billy Joel to write lyrics that sound anything not like witness testimony.
I like the Downeaster Alexa.
Do you know Sergeant O'Leary? Yes. He has a second job as a bartender. Where is that? Mr. Cacciatore's. And where is that? Down on Sullivan Street, across from the medical center. Deshaun in Virginia on the Patriots Pregame Show. What's going on, Deshaun?
Hello, guys. Once again, how's it going?
What's going on?
Good.
Nothing much. Actually, I have some points according to Mr. Floyd. Well, I think he had a really good, interesting point of view.
Yeah.
For about like the coaching changes. Like I had 4 ways. Like before, like I thought that was transparent to what his question was. Like as far as like take Bill's rights away. Like as far as having him choose players in the draft for free agency, as well as fire coach Matt Patricia. Third, fire coach Joe Judge. The one I thought was a good idea to go for it on 4th and 10. I mean, a QB sneaker for 4th and 10. Doing it with the Giants. And if Bill doesn't comply, number 4, I think he should go.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole idea of them running it back, just as is. A couple of changes here and there, special teams, maybe a linebacker. No. If he indicate, I would put it this way. I would even take it this far, Deshaun. If he goes to ownership and makes any kind of a real plea to keep it together, say, you know what? I'm not even going to try and change your mind. We're all done here. Because that speaks to Tommy Curran's point that Bill should have gotten rid of Bill some time ago. If you think that this is something worthy of being tried again next year, then the nicest way of putting it is we're too far apart. We're just too far apart, and this isn't going to work. Good luck in your future endeavors.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest fear that you hear from people that call into the show and stuff is just that like you said, that they're going to try to run it back. And I just feel like it's so below the line that you have to think that Bill will understand and come forth with his own ideas of significant changes. I mean, and it feels like each show we've been doing the last few weeks in Patriots Unfiltered just feels like, hey, here's a new way I came up with to tell you that the Patriots offense isn't very good.
Right.
I mean, it's just you go across the board on the stats and, everything that you come to know as important. I mean, points scored. We know what the defenses has added to that, as far as like average drive. I mean, they're near the bottom of the league. They're one of the 3 or 4 worst offensive teams in every category there is. And I don't know how anyone could have watched this season and come away with, any other feeling than this offense has some major work to be done. Now they have, a number of people that are going to be free agents, so I think that opens up the opportunity to make some significant changes without, having to outright cut guys and make all kinds of changes. But I think it's some key places that they really need some help. Tackle, they're going to have an open tackle spot for sure with Isaiah Wynn hitting free agency. Trent Brown is supposed to be back, but that's one spot. And then wide receiver is you've got Nelson Aguilar is going to be gone. Jacoby Myers is a free agent. I know we've talked plenty about him and the questions of retaining him, but I mean they have an opportunity to make some changes. I just think it comes down to you need to reshuffle the coaching staff. That needs to be one of the first things that happens so that fans I think can get back on board with, all right, this year the first thing to drop is going to be we're going to rejigger this coaching staff and really just get things back into position where we can try to take advantage of the players we do have and add and try to get to a level that's not in the bottom 3 or 4 in each category in the league.
And I hope that happens as quickly as tomorrow. So, like, say if the Patriots did happen to lose today, they need to do it ASAP. Like, in the college world, you don't wait, like, right before, like, you start summer training, spring training to do that. You do it, like, immediately after the game or the next day you find out.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it happens sooner rather than later so that the players can kind of go into the offseason with the mindset of, okay, like they're taking the steps to make the changes for next season. Like, I have something to look forward to.
This tomorrow they got to do the trash bag thing. That would be tomorrow. Would be the trash bags.
And trash bags and make the changes that need to be made now.
Yeah.
Like,
I would just say selfishly, I wouldn't mind if they drew it out for a couple of days just for content purposes.
Yeah, that would be
because, or for content purposes, yes, but then you could miss out on someone. So say if the Titans decide tomorrow to get rid of Vrabel or other teams decide to make changes tomorrow as well, you want to make sure you're not going to miss out.
Okay,
on
as long as he doesn't sign with someone else, just let it go on for a couple of days. That's fine.
I know. Well, I mean, if it were to end today, you've got the schedule will be the 2023 opponents are established. You get your draft position. I mean, you get a lot of stuff at the end of the season. I'm with you. Let's pump the brakes for a few days before we make any crazy moves.
You need to figure it out before the combine, and the combine is in a month. So,
is it? Is it that early?
End of February, so month and a half.
February's a short month.
It's usually.
How do you remember the days of the month? How do you remember what month has how many days?
Oh, same song. We all got the same song, right?
Okay, so there's the song. 30 days has September, April, June, and November.
The show goes off the rails.
Oh, I don't know this
Paul.
part.
You don't know this part?
You just went alternate lyrics on me. All the rest have 31. Mine doesn't rhyme though, so maybe you've got something better. All the rest have 31 except February.
What's yours? Just singing about months randomly?
I had the first part, but yours took a
30
turn.
days has September, April, June, and November.
What are we doing here?
What?
It's how you remember.
There's the knuckle thing too. Have you done the knuckles?
No.
So you count on the big knuckles are the months with 31, and in between are 30 or less. So you go
I have never heard of
January,
this.
February, March, April, May, June, July. Double up on the little knuckle here. August, September, October, November, December.
I've never heard of this.
Well, do you have knuckles?
I do.
Okay, well, you can do it.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Good point. Nick Baby Love. Yeah, try and top that. I dare you.
Well, listen, just if you can hear me, Hardy, just before I go off on Belichick,
yeah,
I've been in contact with Fred. I'm honored that, everybody follows me on Twitter, except for, I guess, my girl there, Tamara Brown. She don't know me, but the most important thing to me is that this show remains intact, Artie. I got your back. If you listen back today to today's show so far, it's so entertaining, and I just want you back next year.
I appreciate
along
that.
with, of course, B-Train and Paul and the young lady, and that's really important to me. And Patriots Nation, let's get behind Hardy because he's just excellent. So,
have you heard something I haven't? Is there a chance that I will not be invited back?
I got Paul's number and Fred's cell numbers. I don't abuse them. I talk to Sosi, blah blah blah.
Sure.
So, but anyway, just going on. Just one thing, because like I stay in touch with Megan and the lady Tamara Brown. I guess that's your name, young lady. The comment you made about men don't know how to dress women or whatever, I don't want to say anything on the air, but I'll tell you what, I know what I'm doing being in the music business since I was 17, and, you have to rethink that comment, even if it was a joke. Now, put all that aside, you got to be kidding me, Hardy, seriously.
Yeah.
I know the Kraft family as well as anybody. I talked to that office for years, and to even think that Bill Belichick is going to be fired or retire or whatever, just think carefully. And I want Patriots Nation to hear me because I'm the leader. I have not missed a game since 1960. I'm 70 years old. So my point is, Bill just likes what he's doing. Tom likes what he's doing. They both got divorced because football is their life. And so it's insane to think that Belichick is going to go anywhere. Mr. Kraft is a businessman. He owns paper companies. He's a billionaire. You know what I mean? And life is too short.
Yeah.
Look at the Hamlin kid. Hey,
Well-
they pronounced me dead twice.
Yeah, you know what?
So I know what the Hamlin kid went through.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is this thing about Belichick, even though I disagree with him on certain political things, as far as football, he ain't going nowhere. And anybody to suggest that is not a Patriots fan.
Well,
they're whatever they are.
okay,
So,
Nick. Hey, listen, always good to hear from you,
bless
buddy.
guys, and please, everybody come back.
Okay, Nick. Thanks, buddy. That is something that we didn't really talk about, and that is it has been brought up before. that
You leaving?
Oh.
About you not following Nick on Twitter. If you just do that, that's going to solve a lot of problems. You'll no
Okay,
longer
let me
be
do that
referred
now.
to as young lady. You will be referred to as Tamara,
What's his Twitter?
which I'm guessing you would
Well,
prefer.
He might give you a nickname like
Here's Nick
I'm
Baby Love.
D-Train.
Well, I don't need a nickname.
Right. But the idea that Robert Kraft would allow both Tom Brady and Bill Belichick to finish their careers somewhere other than in New England. Now, it's already happened with Brady. That has not gone well.
Yeah.
Do you think he would, even if it makes sense on paper to make a coaching change and do this, what if Bill goes somewhere else and wins? Holy crap. I mean, if I were Robert Kraft, that would make my head explode.
Yeah.
I would be guarding against my own cranium exploding just by retaining his services, even if I wasn't in lockstep with everything that he was doing. Some changes have to be made, and I still firmly believe that Belichick is going to make those on his own. He won't have his hand forced when it comes to taking the play calling duties away from Matt Patricia. But even if there's a few other things, do you think Robert's going to risk getting rid of Bill Belichick and having him go somewhere else?
Yeah, break that Shula record somewhere else. I mean, there's just...
Which I don't care about.
I know,
I'm just talking about having one of the greatest coaches of all time go coach somewhere else, just like you had the greatest quarterback of all time go win a Super Bowl with someone else. You want that again?
Yeah.
In any form?
It's such a hard thing. I mean, it's being a professional sports ownership. I mean, what more complicated, high stakes thing job can you possibly think of? I mean, look, Nick speaks to certainly a chunk of Patriots fans that are just basically will ride Bill as long as he's willing to go, and regardless of what the outcome is. I mean, I don't think that the ownership has that luxury. I mean, they have to think about certainly Bill Belichick is the I don't want to say he's the Patriots right now, but I mean that's a huge piece of it. That's a huge draw. That's a huge personality trait of the Patriots team is having Bill Belichick and the kind of teams that he produces. And, for all the, warts that have happened over the last couple of years, you still, see a very effective defense that, I mean, is record setting and, continues to play well. And, talk about the offense being near the bottom of the league in ratings. Defense is close to the top of the league. Now, of course, there's all kinds of nuance to that in terms of who they played, but I mean, they've been competent. So it's a really hard decision, how to manage it all. And, I think it just all starts with Bill hopefully being on the same page as ownership as to what happened this year and taking steps to, remedy and make it better. I think that's just the simple baseline they have to start from going into 2023.
Paul, I'm so happy you're back because the show went off the rails without you.
No, it didn't. Nick Baby Love called in, and Tamara's still not following him on Twitter. Did you fix that?
No, what is his Twitter? I asked. Also, Paul, Mike and Hardy were singing songs from elementary school on how many days there are in a month.
Yeah,
it was horrifying.
30 days in September,
April, June, and November.
But have you heard the Knuckles version of this?
Yes, someone just did this. Where would we?
Yeah,
I just did it on the show. And
but growing up in Everett, the Knuckles version meant something else.
Hey, Knuckles sandwich.
Hey.
Listen, suburb boy, I can talk.
The T.
This guy, I can talk about Everett in those terms. I'm not comfortable with that.
The Rays Knuckles are 31. The in-betweens
January, February, March, April. See how that works?
And then you double up on the last knuckle and then work your way back.
Never heard of this.
Or put them together.
Yeah, you put them together. It's like a mnemonic device.
You don't pay up in Everett. I'm going to give you the first knuckle and the second knuckle right in the face, right?
Oh my gosh.
I get he keeps doing it like it's okay. He's even given a little bit of an Italian
January and March
there
January
that I'm not
March right in your nose.
that I'm not real comfortable with.
Olive oil, boys.
Yeah.
Guess what month it is? January and March.
Cut that.
Like that.
Cut that one in
Cut
just the right part.
Cut that right there because even I can't get away with that.
I'm smart.
Not dumb like people think. Look, I'm German Irish. Well, listen here, Mike.
All right, you probably don't want to go there either.
Really? I said it on Rock 92.9 the other day. I didn't get in trouble.
Well, Rock 92.9 is a little bit more.
Oh, is that one of your shows?
Yeah. Now, what do you do on
music?
that show?
Do you play music?
Do you talk about the music?
So I've heard them all over the world.
That's right. I found out today that Deuce is not necessarily a friend of the Italians. It's okay.
Oh.
Hey,
I married an
Are you going to tell me
Italian.
his Twitter? Are you going to show me his Twitter?
No, you don't. I wouldn't worry
I think
about
you're
it.
good.
Okay.
You're not good. I'm going to tell you what his Twitter is right now, and I am going to implore that everybody follows Nick Baby Love on Twitter, not just Tamara or the young lady, as he is referring to you. And once you
There's nothing wrong with being called the young lady.
Keith in North Adams, what's going on?
It's better than the old lady.
Hi, guys. How are y'all doing today?
Hi.
Good.
Yo.
Hey, I got a couple thoughts here. First off, the PB's not going anywhere. Come on.
Who's not?
That place. PB.
Bill Belichick.
Oh, okay. What if he wants to?
He's not going anywhere. So here's a scenario for you.
He's not going anywhere.
Brady leaves, and he joins Bill Belichick as offensive coach. What do you think?
Brady?
Yeah.
What?
No chance.
What's your scenario again? Who leaves?
Tom Brady leaves Tampa Bay and comes back to the Patriots as offensive coach.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
This
not going anywhere.
Patriots pregame show is brought to you, but he's not going to coach. He's not going to coach here. He's not going to coach
Certainly not going to
anywhere.
coach with Bill Belichick.
You know what he's going to do? Again, I don't mean to be a jerk.
You kind of do.
If he does anything, he's going to honor the contract he's already signed with Fox, go into the booth, and make $300 million a year working once a week. Once a week! Calling a football game. Not even calling. Color analyst on a football game. $300 million. No, it's not per year. It's the total contract. But it's an absurd amount of money that he's going to make.
I got my questions at how good he's going to be at it, too. I mean, I love the guy, but I don't know. I haven't really.
I think he'll be good. I think he'll be good because he's good at things. He's just one of those guys who's good at things. However, we've been wrong before. Rob Gronkowski. Oh, can you imagine him on TV? Yep. Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan's going to be great. No, he's not. He's not.
He's not terrible.
He's not. But
Gronk is.
Gronk's terrible.
Yeah.
And Rex Ryan he's just okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He's just okay.
I would agree with that.
So I don't know. We won't know until it happens. But that's what he's not going to coach. Coaching's real work.
No,
that's a long hours.
If anything, I imagine him in like an ownership role where he doesn't have the day-to-day grind, but he's still invested competitively and has a team.
Can he do that and still broadcast?
That's a good question.
I don't.
But it'd probably be like a random, like not NFL team that he.
Oh
would
no,
be,
I could see it being like the
pickleball team,
the Miami Dolphins.
Brady signed a 10-year, $375 million deal with Fox already.
Is that a lot?
Already. It's done. Whenever he stops playing, he starts collecting $37.5 million a year to work once a week. Wow. That's what he's going to do.
Tough life.
Patriots.
I'd laugh all the way to the bank too, Tom.
Good grief. Patriots pregame brought to you by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Great memories are made in Massachusetts, no matter how you choose to make them, indoors or outdoors, scenic views or city vibes, solo or family style, whatever moves you, whatever the season, plan your perfect Massachusetts getaway at visitma.com.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
$1 million? For picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
Every play, every pass, every performance is perfected on the training field, producing critical data that's analyzed, measured, and studied. Acronis keeps that data safe and ensures it's there to use whenever and wherever it's needed.
Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
There's no season better than football season. And there's no better place to get in on all of the action than with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the New England Patriots. To add to the thrill, DraftKings has millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs every week. So head to the app now and check it out. If you haven't tried it yet, fantasy football is easy to play. Just pick 9 players, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for yards, touchdowns, receptions, and so much more. There's no better way to put your football knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at $1 million in total prizes. Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week. That's promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week, only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Patriot Place is the region's #1 shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Shop your favorites, including Vineyard Vines, Express, Olympia Sports, Petco, and more. Enjoy dining at one of our 19 restaurants, including 6 String Grill and Stage, Scorpion Bar, and Bar Louie. And don't forget about the entertainment. Explore your inner artist at Muse Paint Bar. Watch a movie at Showcase Cinema Deluxe, or grab a controller and start gaming at Helix Esports. For a complete directory listing, please visit patriot-place.com. Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Getting back to the lead, it's LEDE, correct?
Yeah.
What is that?
Technically.
What is that word? Yeah, but
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
let's get to some of these phone calls here and emails. Webradio@patriots.com. Give us a call right now on the Ace Ticket hotline, 855-PATS-500. We go to Justin in Virginia. Justin, thanks for joining us. What do you got?
What's going on, guys? I appreciate you, Tamara. You don't need to follow me anywhere. I appreciate you.
Well, that's nice, but she's not here, so yeah,
Oh my God.
you don't even get credit for saying it. We're not going to tell her you said it.
All right.
Okay.
But the question I'd pose with Bill Belichick is, like, I think we do need to look at it in totality and be appreciative. But I think based off of how the chips fall and the dominoes, how do you look at it if Miami begins to grow stronger and we're kind of in the same place, and the Bills remain an elite team in the AFC?
Well, they've already gotten stronger.
You let Belichick go, but what if the gap just keeps on widening?
Right. You got some help from Miami.
A hard discussion.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the call.
Yeah.
You got some help from Miami this year in terms of injury, and I don't think you need to worry about Miami really widening the gap. They're still better than you, I believe, right now, but they have a quarterback issue.
Yeah, you still haven't beaten Tua.
That said, you win today and you finish ahead of them for the second year in a row. When you think,
Right.
and I agree with you. I think Miami is better, but they haven't finished better.
That's true.
I mean, for
Maybe they're
a good
not.
chunk of the season when Tua was balling, it seemed like, man, it seemed like the scenario he was laying out.
And that's the big thing for Miami. And again, these are things that probably be better suited for the postgame show. What do you do for Miami? Like,
I know.
Because I don't think you – I mean, I think it's pretty clear that when Tua plays, that offense is dangerous. But he doesn't finish a lot of games.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know how you could feel good about him. I mean, I think Tua probably has some questions for himself.
And even if he does come back, it feels like he could easily be one play away.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't finish games. So if you're Miami, I don't know how you could go into 2023 and say, well, Tua's our guy. He proved that last year. And we're full speed ahead. Now, maybe they think a lot of Skylar Thompson, and as a rookie 7th-round pick, you know, he's a little overmatched, but, you know, they think he's going to be a good quarterback and he's going to be a good backup for them.
Yeah, that's what feel like you got that.
Maybe down the road. But
yeah.
I think they need to look like a lot of these other teams and see if they can get like a Jimmy Garoppolo or a Derek Carr or one of these veterans to come in and sort of stabilize things because I don't know if you can rely on Tua.
Kind of a high-level backup.
And I like Tua. I think I think Tua played at a level higher than I thought he was capable of this year. I thought he was pretty good. We're starting to get our first looks, Hardy, in Buffalo on the field. A lot of seem like a lot of people on the field there. Just like that's the tunnel leading down to the locker rooms.
I don't know what it normally looks like, but it's funny you mentioned that. I'm like, wow, that's really crowded. That's the first thing I thought.
Looks like a lot of
looked at
people, and I wonder if just there's an extra amount of people with preparation for some of these pregame ceremonies that I'm sure we're about to see with Damar Hamlin.
Why do we think the commissioner is there today?
Yeah, I saw that this morning that he would be there, and I thought that was a little odd. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answer for you.
Show support, I guess.
It's a big game. This is this was the biggest story, one of the biggest stories in the country this week.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of judge things in the how we react to sports differently. We probably place more importance on them than other people. My test is morning news programs, morning network news. Is it in the first bag of news? And the Damar Hamlin story was in the first batch of stories every single day, for 3-4 days this week.
I have
it
the
was
same
one of the
thing.
biggest stories in the country.
For me, it's the Aunt Carmela test. All Italians have an Aunt Carmela. I say this every week. Okay. So my Aunt Carmela, God rest her soul. If Aunt Carmela knew about it in the sports realm,
that's funny.
It was a, how did you call it on the news? First bag. Yeah. First bag. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Barbara Walters said something about that after she passed away earlier this week. She had said it years ago, and I used to say this too, but she said, it was her responsibility waking up doing morning news to let people know who wanted to turn on the TV in the morning to see if the world ended overnight. I'm like, that's kind of what you do. They're like, did anything, is everything still here?
Yeah.
I've been asleep. It's almost like this animalistic instinct to kind of like look around, or in this case, look at your TV and see what's going on. There's Mac Jones as he gets ready to play the Bills in Buffalo today. Keep that temper in check there, Mac.
Doesn't look like the weather too crazy. I mean, certainly not the wind game, but it just doesn't really look like a usual January.
So we do have some boots on the ground,
yep.
In Orchard Park, and boss man Fred Kirsch chimes in. He was listening to us talk. He said it does seem like there were a lot of people on the field, but because it's so tight on the sideline there's not a lot of room. So he thinks that it's probably the same amount of people, but just looks a little bit more crowded, which makes sense because that is a very tight.
Yeah.
The stands are close to the field. There's not a lot of room on the sidelines.
Toit like a toiger?
Toit.
Very toit.
Patriots.com giving us the portrait mode on the camera there. That is nice.
Some tracking.
That is that's really nice. Jones in focus there, and it's kind of blurred. It's NFL Films-ish.
Should I use this as an opportunity?
No.
Okay.
We got to take these calls first.
All right.
Sean in New York. Sean, what do you got?
Hi, guys. Good job all year. This is the last pregame show. Hopefully it's not, this whole year is going to enjoy.
It's not necessarily the last pregame show. Don't give up the ship.
Which leads me to my point, which I wanted to call. I feel like there's a level of resignation this year. Like on Belichick Park, he had a conference a couple weeks ago where he's like, oh, we can't, it's too late in the season to change the offense. Hell, it is. You changed it in 2018 with the run game. There's a lot of changes that you can make. And he just came off as entitled, not wanting to change anything. And did that rub you guys the wrong way when he said that?
No, because he's not lying. I appreciate it anytime he's being honest. Look, in 2018 you could change it because you had Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels. You can't change an offense right now with Matt Patricia or a second-year quarterback. I'm not throwing a bunch of stink on Mac Jones. It's different. It's a totally different situation.
Well, I think 2018, too, you had like a strength. Like you had something that you felt like you were good at that we can lean into and feature more and just, kind of make that our identity. And I think if this team had something like that this year, that they probably would have done the same thing. It might not have been as dramatic as that year when all of a sudden you're playing with a fullback a ton, but I just don't think they had any real strength to turn to. It's just all been kind of flatline the whole year, no matter how they've kind of approached it. Paul mentioned the running game going stagnant. That's, true. We know the up and down of the passing game. I mean, it's been what it's been since the beginning of camp. They hit a couple big plays. they just can't keep consistent in any regard.
I'm wondering if Paul would like to favor us now. I wanted to get a call in first, Paul, but you have something for us.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't come up with anything necessarily game-related today because I didn't think it was overly appropriate. So instead, today's key data point presented by Demand Science, I'm actually going to look at a little bit of science and the medical care that Damar Hamlin received on Monday night. I think is worth revisiting, and I know there were a lot of people involved in the tremendous response that he received at the time, but the one that really stood out was Bill's assistant trainer, Denny Kellington, who was the gentleman who was performing CPR on Hamlin, and without his efforts, I think we'd be looking at all of the events of the past week in a much different light. So I just thought it was, maybe appropriate for us. I know we've talked a little bit about Hamlin today, and I just thought it would be a good time to sort of just revisit the heroes that were all involved with administering the CPR on a moment's notice and really falling back on their training and doing everything right. And it certainly looks, and I agree with Hardy, who said early in the show, he's still in critical condition in the hospital, but it certainly looks like Damar Hamlin's life was saved, and he's on the road to recovery. So I just wanted to take a moment with the key data point today presented by Demand Science to recognize all of the first responders that were there, and in particular Bill's assistant trainer, Denny Kellington.
What a wonderful, grown-up, thoughtful, and poignant data point. That's great,
Give me
Paul.
some, bro.
Well done.
Thank
Well
you.
done. And let me tell you something. Hearing from people throughout the week, as I'm sure you guys did on Unfiltered and we did on the Sports Hub, there was an emergency room doc in Cincinnati, not at the medical center where Damar was brought, but somebody who knows people there and was kind of just giving me general information based on the situation, because we had questions about this. We're all trying to play doctor, figure out what happened. He, after giving me a lot of good information on his situation, why they did things the way they did, why he was sedated, why that's done, why the body is cooled, all these things.
Yeah.
He said if there's anything to be taken away from this, he hopes people learn CPR. More people are able to do what the trainer from the Bills was able to do, and that is not only A, what saved his life in the moment, but B, and this is why I want to do it too, and I hope that I will actually follow through on this, find out more about CPR and why it is so important. I believe it has to do with keeping the blood, the oxygenated blood, flowing through vital parts of the body so that, restarting the heart can be done, I guess, maybe, a number of ways and a number of times. It is the CPR that keeps things viable so that when he is in the process of recovery now, he's in a much better place than he would have been had CPR not been administered. I think.
Yeah.
But I want to learn CPR and I want to learn more about it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it, Hardy.
This doctor said it. He goes, that's what he hopes people take away from this. Learn CPR. You could, find yourself very easily in a situation like this at some
Have you
point
ever
in your
done
life.
it at all, like in
Yeah,
school? or
I did it about 15 plus years ago when my wife was pregnant, and we went through the baby classes and we learned infant CPR.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. It's two fingers on the chest. It's different than adult CPR.
Yeah, because you crush everything if you did it like an adult. But
Avoid that.
Yeah, I learned how to do it in school, but not. I'm not CPR trained, and there's a humongous difference.
High school?
Even younger. It was elementary. It was sixth grade.
This is close to 50 years ago.
Yeah. Now, have you ever done it on?
Shots fired.
Wow.
It's 45 anyway.
I just
no, it was
rounded up.
probably like 42 years ago. But did you ever do it on the like the CPR Manny?
Resuscitation Annie?
Yeah, one of those.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
You're laughing at me. There was
that's what it was called.
Yes.
Matt, when you're old, that's what it was called, guy. Blood flows red on the highway. These are the PSAs that we had to watch. Yeah, obviously, a lot of things have changed, but it's always interesting to me when we hear people start talking about things, and even 40-something years ago, Hardy, like little buzzwords that you remember, and and I heard like people saying that, and they performed CPR on him, vigorous CPR. And I looked at my wife and I was like, is there another kind? I felt like Jack Nicholson and is there another kind? Like, have you ever watched anybody give CPR, even like on TV?
Yeah.
Like fake CPR on TV? Like, there's no such thing as like calm, cool, and collected, take your time, relax, don't exert yourself, CPR. It's a lot. And what those trainers did, I know that's what they're trained to do, and I know that's their job. I'm not trying to say anything beyond that, but they did their jobs at a very high level, and for that reason, we have a much happier story this week than we might have.
It's and it's changed. I don't think you're supposed to give mouth to mouth anymore. I don't think that's part of it anymore. It wastes time when you're supposed to
just the compressions,
just the chest compressions.
It's a good bit on The Office too. Where they, do you ever see that one where they're like, I think "Staying Alive" is like the beat that they have to use to for the chest compression. So, yeah, that's all I got.
That's what you have to add to it. A bit from The Office. Well, so much for your grown-up, poignant, heartfelt.
I tried.
Key data point.
Trying to tie it to pop culture a little bit.
Now
inspire the youth to sign up for a CPR class, perhaps.
Now we're back to Find a Way Part 2.
Part 2.
All that goodwill I had with a couple good points I made early in the show, it's all gone.
Brent in Vermont, what do you got for us, buddy?
Morning, boys. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Hey.
All right, so 2 questions. Would you guys rather play the Bills twice in a row, since we are going to win today? Or would you guys rather play Buffalo today and then Cincinnati next week? Then the second question is, do you guys want to see Patricia completely gone, or would you guys rather him be assigned to like an offensive lineman coach or something like that? Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks, Brent.
I said earlier, I just like to change it up. I'd like to go to Cincinnati. The Patriots are going to be underdogs to both those teams. I've seen this Buffalo game plenty of times by now.
I don't think you beat Buffalo today. I don't think you want another crack at them a week later. To put it another way, I don't think you want Buffalo to get another crack at you a week later if you beat them today.
I don't think it matters all that much. I agree. That's a good point. I would rather play Buffalo twice if I won today. I'd rather play them again.
Interesting.
Because I have just last week when you had everything on your side, we couldn't beat you, and I'd like to have Buffalo thinking about that for a week. But I also think a lot more of Cincinnati than these people that deceived themselves into thinking there was this dramatic turnaround that happened in the second half on that Christmas Eve game.
Right. As in terms of Matt Patricia, look, we always feel the need. I always feel the need to kind of preface everything as we did with Damar Hamlin this week. First things first, I'm glad he's okay, and thoughts and prayers. So I will preface the Matt Patricia thing once again by saying I like Matt Patricia. I think he's a good guy, and I think he's got a great football mind. I don't want him. I don't want him anywhere near this team. No, I don't want him sitting up in the booth. I don't.
Oh, you want him out of the organization?
You need real change, and I would. It's just to show you it is not anything personal with Matt Patricia. I'm not being personal. I don't want Bill O'Brien back here either.
Oh,
I want real change to take place.
Bill Belichick is out.
If Belichick is going to remain, I think he is smart enough and wise enough, and bring in new people. Be the one leading real change around here, okay? And if that's not going to happen, then I fear more of the same.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with Matty P sticking around or going back to what he was a couple years ago. I think that they need somebody in a role of consulting. There's been too much pre-snap stuff, just getting on the same page. I do think they need help, but I really agree with your point. Bigger than that, of some fresh blood, and I bristle a little bit at save us, Bill O'Brien. You're our only hope, because he was here before and he knows. I don't even know what the offense is right now. So why can't we bring somebody new in? Why couldn't there be, I think trying to accentuate Bill Belichick's talents. Don't just bring another guy who's already been through the rigmarole here. Maybe bring a new guy who has some new perspectives, and then put that through, Bill Belichick's knowledge, and allow him to, come to a new, kind of attack to this whole thing. But I agree with that general point of an infusion of some new ideas and new minds in the building can't hurt.
All right.
I agree.
Um,
I would like that.
This is probably the most important part of the show today.
Oh, I totally agree, Hardy.
It's time for this week's edition of Over Unders.
You're over me? When were you under me?
Why is it so important? Well, what happened last week, Matt, and where do we stand on the season for over-unders?
All right, last week, Mike 5-1, Hardy 4-2, Paul 3-3. Season totals: Paul and Hardy 53-43, Mike 52-44.
It is anyone's game. In what
That's me leaving the door open for you guys.
in what could be the last chance. Now, there are plenty of people who think we're going to be doing this again next week and maybe even the week after that. But in case this is the last over-under of the season, this is it for all the marbles. Tie for first. Mike Dussault just 1 point behind the season totals. Let us begin.
Nick Folk field goals 1.5.
This is a good one. All right, I'm in the pole position here. Yeah, I think I got to go over.
First of all, you're not in the pole position. You're going first.
See what happens
okay?
when I try to dabble in other sports?
Yeah,
I
you didn't
lose
have
my mind.
you didn't have the best lap time in during the week. You're not leading.
So anyway, I'm going to go over.
I am going to go over as well. I think the Patriots offense, if nothing else, can kick field goals. I'll take the over.
Now, do I play this strategically?
I think we got to
just
strategic.
well, and I'll just say this: in the first meeting, there was only one field goal.
But in order to do that, I would have to abandon Nick Folk, the guy my
Bubby.
I've abandoned my boy.
Abandoned my child.
I've abandoned my son. Can't do it. I'm going over.
All right, number of sacks for the Patriots 1.5.
I'm going to take the over on that one too. I think they get at least 2 of Josh Allen today.
All right, I went under last week, and it was 1.5 last week, and I missed it by 1/2 a sack. I'm going under.
Going under. Whew. All right. This is more about our game than their game, I think. I'm gonna go under 2. I'm gonna try to make up some ground here on Paul if I can, or fall behind, but I'm gonna go under.
Buffalo turnovers 1.5.
Buffalo turnovers.
In the heart of America.
Buffalo turnovers 1.5.
Sound like a good appetizer.
Ooh, Buffalo turnover. They got the chicken inside.
So as Hardy is thinking about his answer, I'm just going to give you this real quick. Sal Pal, I guess, just reported on ESPN that if the Ravens beat the Bengals today, the coin flip will take place at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati in the media room.
Oh man,
across from where the Bengals locker room is.
Are you kidding me?
Some riots.
By the way, that was
obviously the Ravens have to beat the Bengals for there to be a coin flip to determine where that game would be.
That was my favorite GIF of the week. It was the scene from No Country for Old Men, where what are we flipping for? Everything. You have to call. I can't call it unless I know what we're flipping for. Everything.
That's a twisted movie.
That's very
like the main character just suddenly is dead, and you're like, what the hell just happened?
Buffalo turnover, which is a little bit of buffalo chicken.
Thanks.
Little blue cheese crumble inside a pastry.
Oh, I like it.
Under 1.5.
Yeah, I'm with Hardy too. This is a tough one, but they don't turn it over against the Patriots. I'm going under.
Watch Paul.
No, I'm taking the under as well. I think at some point you can't just rely on the defense taking the ball away time after time after time.
Total team points for the Patriots 16.5.
Deuce.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I think they can get over 16.5.
Paul?
I will take the under.
Oh my God, this is so excited. I'm going over too. I'm legitimately going over. I haven't picked at 17 points.
If it goes over, you guys might not be the last over-unders of the year. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Number of emails read by Hardy in the postgame at 1/2.
Yeah, we can't do this. Can we do this?
Your Honor, he controls that.
He won't remember.
Over.
Gotta go over.
Well, then I'm going under, and I'm not going to read any emails, and I win.
It's not fair.
We'll have Fred call in and make you.
I'm keeping it. Total score 41.5.
I think that's you.
You're up, Hardy. 41.5.
I'm going over 41.5.
Oh, I'm going to go, I don't know. I'm going to go under. I'm rolling the dice here.
Yeah, I'm under as well.
All right. What
I
does it
think
all
you'll
mean?
legitimately forget about this over-under. And
Well, not if
Paul
you
and
keep
Mike
bringing
will
it up.
win. Legitimately.
Yeah, and I just feel like it's hard to imagine the Bills coming out like all guns blazing, execution to perfection on
Right.
offense. I got the under.
We
in
saw
this
that
game.
last year in the playoffs. I'm like, I'm trying to like compare, like, what's the difference? Did they play?
Well,
I think they have to
the
play.
difference is they didn't practice all week. That's the difference.
What'd you guys do on the total?
Under.
Oh my God, this could be a blood.
Did you like just have a blackout while we did that last?
I was
question?
thinking about how I can remind myself not to read any emails in the postgame.
Yeah, don't.
What?
Don't do that.
Well,
It's not fair.
If I take the gist of what the person wanted and just don't read it verbatim,
I think that counts as an
No,
email.
that counts as an email.
Yeah.
As long as you address an email.
well, then I have to go over. I have to change it.
I'll allow it.
It's a layup.
I mean, that's mean.
It's mean.
Unbelievable. All right. Thank you, Dunkin, getting us through this pregame. As always, always game on with Dunkin. That's why grabbing a coffee is the most important game day ritual. The best call for football is Dunkin, the official coffee of the New England Patriots. America runs on Dunkin.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
$1 million? For picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
Every play, every pass, every performance is perfected on the training field, producing critical data that's analyzed, measured, and studied. Acronis keeps that data safe and ensures it's there to use whenever and wherever it's needed.
Verizon, the network America relies on, and the official 5G network of the New England Patriots. Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
There's no season better than football season. And there's no better place to get in on all of the action than with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the New England Patriots. To add to the thrill, DraftKings has millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs every week. So head to the app now and check it out. If you haven't tried it yet, fantasy football is easy to play. Just pick 9 players, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for yards, touchdowns, receptions, and so much more. There's no better way to put your football knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at $1 million in total prizes. Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week. That's promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week, only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500. or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
I mean, you love to have him. I mean, he's fun to watch.
I mean,
Finishing each other's sentences.
I don't
that was
finishing
cute.
each other.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
All right, before we get to the Sunday six-pack, a couple of emails here. Katina in Houston. Have to agree, Mr. Kraft needs to be protected from his cranium exploding if Bill goes somewhere else and wins. That possibility hasn't even occurred to me. I don't care for it. No, I don't think Robert Kraft would care to see his head coach go somewhere else and win. And that was one of the other scenarios we brought up. It's not just about, being in lockstep with your head coach. Can he afford personally, marketing-wise, image-wise, to lose both the greatest quarterback of all time and one of the greatest head coaches of all time in the event that Bill goes somewhere else and wins? I think it's something as an owner you have to consider, not from an X's and O's standpoint, but just from a business standpoint.
Well, what's worse, if he goes somewhere and wins, but you start winning with a new coach again? Like is he middling, or is he goes somewhere and all of a sudden he's dominant? I mean, it just seems hard that he's going to go somewhere and right away be able to have all his pieces in place. I just wonder if it's so black and white that you let him go somewhere, he wins immediately, and then you have a new coach here that, he struggles for a while. That's the worst case scenario. But I just wonder if Bill at this age is ready to go somewhere and try to start over again.
Oh, I wonder. Matt in Oregon backing you up on staying alive for the chest compressions.
Thank you. I resonated with some of our fans.
One of the greatest scenes in The Office. Mike's not wrong.
It is.
It is. Cassie, Fort Benning, Georgia. Military spouse, originally from Vermont, Massachusetts. Cassie says, surprised to not hear you discuss the suspensions. That's my bad. We did not get to that today. Just quickly, it seems like Jones being made an example of for being late to rehab, but unclear on Bailey's or the Patriots using it to get out of the guaranteed money on his contract. Thoughts?
Yeah, it is an interesting situation, and we dropped the ball on that. We probably should have given 5 minutes to that earlier in the show, but I don't have all the details. But it certainly seems, Mike, that health is part of the problem here. These are two guys that were, I just thought the timing with Jack Jones was interesting. He got hurt against Arizona, I want to say, kind of immediately told everybody he was good, never played again, and wound up on IR. And then shortly after that, we found out that he was suspended. So my guess in reading the tea leaves is that they felt like he should have been ready to play, and he didn't feel like he was ready. And there were some rehab issues with Jack Jones, as reportedly being late or not showing up to rehab. With Jake Bailey, my guess is they felt like he should have been ready to come back, and he didn't feel like that. So the email is right. There'll be grievances filed, and that looks like Jake Bailey's representation has already done so.
Yeah, well, we talked about Mike Reese's notes Sunday. There's never anything in there by accident. I mean, Mike's speculation that Jake Bailey might have played his last down for the Patriots, which is pretty shocking considering they signed him to an extension last summer, which I think surprised a lot of people coming off kind of a down year. I think he had some struggles this year too. It's just a weird situation. Any way you cut it, the Patriots special teams have not been good enough outside of Marcus Jones and his returns. As for Jack Jones, some promise there at cornerback with a young kid that made some plays on the ball early in the season, but you come in with red flags and now you have this. It's hard to count on him going into year two to be one of the cornerbacks. No one's going to say, if Jonathan Jones leaves, we're just going to count on Jack Jones. Hard to say those things right now. So some uncertainty or added uncertainty to the cornerback room, I would say, going into next year.
Another email wanting to know if the possibility of this being the last game for D-Mac and Matthew Slater, is that extra motivation? Does that factor in at all to the game today?
I don't know. It kind of seems like it based on last week when we talked about it. He had his family here. Jason was here watching the game, last home game.
Especially for Slater, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And, it's super, super motivated. You're going up against the Bills in Buffalo. They got all kinds of motivation, too. I think they equal out. How about that?
So I also have a question. Outside of this Bailey suspension thing, and that being the reason why, his time here could be done, the Patriots' punting has been awful all year. I know we've talked about their offense being, bottom of the league, but the punting has been just as bad.
Yeah, that's the special teams.
Well, Jake Bailey.
No party.
Jake Bailey's punting was abysmal.
Yeah. It was bad. So
and yes, to the emailer's point, I do think that they're probably filing this, they're probably suspending him in an effort to try to get out of paying him guaranteed money.
Yeah, I don't.
And it probably won't
I don't
work.
think they're afraid to lose him. You know.
I mean, I wouldn't. It's like I wouldn't be.
No. Also, Klaus in Denmark getting us into the Sunday six-pack here. How many points do you think the defense has to score today for the Patriots to have a chance? I think a pick 6 and setting up a pick 3.
Sure.
So giving 9 points to the defense.
If they score points today,
That'll be helpful.
They'll have a chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the defense scores, they'll have a chance.
All right. Let's do the Sunday six-pack.
This is the Sunday six-pack, so kick back and listen to my position. I'm itching to get the picks back. You better bring a big stack. Get it mixed, Jack. I came to win it, yeah, this is the Sunday six-pack.
Well, this is rather academic at this point, but last week what happened and now what? Ooh.
Well, you had a good week last week, Hardy.
Thank you.
You went 4-1.
Thank
Mike
you.
and Paul went 1-4.
They stink.
Unfortunately, you're still 7 games behind Paul.
I don't
He's
love
11
my
games.
11 games.
He's
I'm
11
sorry,
games.
I can't even do math right.
4-1 to pull within 11 games of me.
I have a chance to embarrass Deuce. Is what I have a chance.
On the season, Paul 50-33-1, Mike 43-40-1, Hardy 39-44-1.
Can I just say 50-33-1, Paul?
Yeah, thanks.
That is impressive against the spread. Very,
That is
very
Yeah.
impressive.
I get a free set of steak knives.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
The 10-6 Baltimore Ravens at the 11-4 Cincinnati Bengals. Cincy -9.
Deuce.
Ooh, baby. Yeah, no Mark Andrews too. I saw. So I'm going to take Cincy. I'm going to lay those points.
Yeah, I'm going to lay the points too. Not even Tyler Huntley not playing. Anthony Brown, former BC quarterback who ended up at Oregon, will get his first career start today. So, yeah, I got Cincinnati too.
Too many points. Give me the Ravens.
The 7-9 New York Jets at the 8-8 Miami Dolphins. Miami -3.5. This game already happened, didn't it?
No.
No. What you talking
No.
about?
I'm sorry.
What you talking about, Willis?
I'm
Go ahead,
going to
guys.
take. This is
Don't
one of the
listen to me.
games that has a big impact on the Patriots.
Yeah.
So I am going to take the Jets. I don't necessarily know if they'll win the game, but I'm going to take them to cover.
Yeah.
I like the hook.
I kind of like that
The
too,
hook.
Paul. That half a point there for seems like this could very easily be a 3-point game.
13-10 kind of game.
It could be overtime with a game-winning field goal, and there you go, the covers. So I'll take the Jets plus 3.5.
I'm going to take Miami. Let's go.
The 7-9 Cleveland Browns at the 8-8 Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh -2.5.
Well,
Eh.
yeah.
Eh.
Oh.
Yeah. Do it.
Steelers at home. I'll lay the 2.5 with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same. I think Pittsburgh pulls it out.
Yeah, I mean, I just haven't seen enough from Deshaun Watson to say he goes into Pittsburgh. The Steelers are hot. They have to have the game, and I don't think I've seen enough from Watson to pick them yet. I would say watch out for Cleveland next year. I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do with their coaching staff and all that.
I'm confused.
I got Pittsburgh.
Zoe kept telling me, Deshaun Watson, he's good. Wait till he comes back. Take over. And I just kept raising my hand and saying, he hasn't played football in 2 years.
Yeah, it's almost like he hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah. Bless you.
Rusty.
The 9-6-1 New York
Rusty.
Giants at the 13-3 Philadelphia Eagles. Philly -16.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, the Giants are, sitting everybody. I'm going to take that's a lot of points, though. I'll take the Giants. I don't know. Plus 16. Why not?
Yeah, I don't normally take these kinds of spreads. I'm going to take it today. I think the Eagles absolutely have to have it. My fear is what the game ends up. I think they'll be winning by more than 16 at some point in this game. I don't have much fear of that. I don't know what the final score will be. I'm going to take the Eagles and lay the 16.
I'm with you, Deuce. I ain't laying no 16 points. Give him a plus 16. I don't care who's playing.
Next, the 8-8 Detroit Lions at the 8-8 Green Bay Packers. Green Bay -5.
Oh, Hardy.
I wish I could find out if Seattle had won or lost before this game, but I'm going to take Green Bay at home. I have a feeling that Seattle's going to win.
Do you want to wait and make your pick later on this one?
No, I just I think Seattle's going to win and Detroit's going to not have anything to play for. So I'll take the Packers.
You know
Plus,
what
the Packers are playing
Here's
well.
what they have to play for. Kneecaps, ankles, all those things that they want to bite and chew on.
Wow.
I have to. Ride the pride. Restore the roar. Give me the Lions +5.
I'm with Paul. I'm taking Green Bay.
You guys are idiots.
This is not the Lions pregame show. Just in case you forgot.
We dabble though sometimes with Hardy. You know, we
wish.
dabble. We dabble.
The 8-8 New England Patriots at the 12-3 Buffalo Bills. Buffalo minus 7.5.
I am taking the Buffalo Bills today. 30-17.
30-17. Yeah, it's hard to pick the Patriots. They're up against it today. I'm going to take Buffalo to win 27-15.
Ooh. Ugh. It's a Berman-like score. I'm going to make it unanimous. I think in terms of Buffalo, I would be worried if I were a Bills fan about the emotional state of the team. I know everybody thinks it's going to be a huge edge for the Bills. I think that it just as easily could be a huge detriment for the Bills. But I think they find a way to harness that, and 27-13.
You brought it all
I
home.
have Buffalo winning this game, and it'll come down to what happens in Miami and Pittsburgh.
All right. That does it for the Patriots pregame show, fueled by Dunkin. By the way, quick thank you to NFL All Day. All your favorite Patriots highlights become digital video collectibles called
Moments.
Not only can you buy and sell them on a secure marketplace full of thousands of NFL fans use them to compete in epic game day challenges. Check it out. Find some moments from all your favorite Pats players on NFLAllDay.com. We'll talk to you after the game.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.